Hello and welcome to TVC News at 7. Our top stories this hour. River State government sets up 7-member Judicial Commission to probe post-election attacks as police promise to restore peace in the state. Federal High Court in Abuja affirms Julius Abure as substantive chairman of the Labour Party. Outside Nigeria, U.S. President Joe Biden cancels trips abroad as Hurricane Milton doubles in size as Florida prepares for a second ferocious storm. And in sport, 20 players in Super Eagles camp ahead of AFCON qualifying game against Libya on Friday. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 7. We begin with the political situation in River State, where the state government has set up a judicial commission to investigate the arson, killings, and other forms of violence that occurred in the state on Monday. This followed the setting ablaze of Ikwere, Eleme, and Emohua local government council secretariats after police officers securing the 23 council secretariats were withdrawn by the directive of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. Governor of River State, Siminalayi Fubara, promised to take decisive action against those responsible for setting ablaze the 3 local government secretariats. He pledged that the incident, unlike previous cases, will not be ignored, as his administration will collaborate with security agencies to identify the perpetrators and hold them accountable. A statement by the Office of the Secretary to the River State Government, Tami Danagogo, on Tuesday said the setting up of the Judicial Committee was pursuant to Section 2, Subsection 1 of the Commissions of Inquiry Law of River State of Nigeria. And in a related development, the new Commissioner of Police, Bala Mustafa, has assured that efforts are ongoing to restore peace following Monday's attack on some local government secretariats in River State. The Commissioner of Police, Bala Mustafa, gave the assurance when he reported at his duty post at the command headquarters in Port Harcourt. The police commissioner was unable to say if any arrests were made or casualties recorded in yesterday's attack on some local government council secretariats.
I want to assure you that we are going to hit the ground, to place proactive security measures, and make a stop to all these incessant attacks and secure not only secretariats, but secure the state generally. We want to assure the public that they can go home and sleep with their 2 eyes closed. We are going to hit the ground. We are already on ground. We are going to do the needful, secure all those violent areas, and place security, proactive security measures through what? Through aggressive patrol and confident building patrol.
Now to judicial matters. Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has declared Julius Abure as the chairman of the Labour Party. Delivering the judgment, Justice Nwite affirmed the Abure-led leadership at the March 2024 Newi Convention that produced the national leadership. Justice Nwite ordered INEC to recognize Mr. Abure as the legitimate chairman, overriding the Commission's earlier stance that Mr. Abure's leadership was invalid. The electoral body had said Julius Abure is no longer the national chairman of the Labour Party, citing that his tenure ended in June 2024. To promote good governance by encouraging transparency on public matters across various MDAs, the Center for Fiscal Transparency and Public Integrity presents its 4th edition of the Transparency and Integrity Index. The report presented in Abuja rates the various MDAs based on their respective performance in accordance with public sector standards. Celestine Area reports.
In line with the ratification of the Open Government Partnership Initiative and United Nations Convention on Anti-Corruption by the federal government, the demand for responsiveness to citizens on transparency and accountability in the public sector has become imperative. The Transparency and Integrity Index is an assessment that seeks to evaluate the performances of ministries, departments, and agencies. This is done through a peer-review mechanism in relation to the compliance in the proactive disclosure of information and the compliance to extant provisions of transparency.
2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we released the results for 2021 ranking for 5 years. In 2022, we added another year. 2023, we added another year. So this result is for we are releasing in 2024, but it's data for 8 years. So we're asking of your budget reports, of your audit reports, of your procurement records, of number of staff you have, or your sex distribution, how many male, how many female, your control of corruption, all the such variables, 29 in number, is for 8 years.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation says the government has strengthened measures to improve on areas of weaknesses in public sector reporting and external audit scrutiny, in public financial management through the introduction of the Open Treasury Portal.
It's done through the introduction of Open Treasury Portal, full disclosure of Federal Government of Nigeria's payments, and improved transparency, governance, service delivery, and accountability. The thrust of government is to ensure that through its fiscal instruments and policies, a virile and sustainable economy is attained.
That the Transparency and Integrity Index serves as a mirror reflecting where we are and highlighting the areas where we must improve. This report is not just about assigning scores. It is a tool to guide reforms and promote the culture of openness and accountability that Nigeria needs.
Transparency Integrity Index is assessed based on 5 variables, ranging from physical transparency, open procurement, control of corruption, citizens' engagement, and inclusion across public sector. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.
Now to Plateau State, where it is few hours to the 9th of October local government election in the state, and critical stakeholders in the peace project are still engaging residents on the need to sustain the relative peace in the state before, during, and after the election. TVC News senior reporter Funam Joshua, who is monitoring development in Plateau State, now reports.
Residents and electorates across the 17 council areas of Plateau State are getting ready to exercise their franchise on election day. The announcement of Wednesday, October 9th by PLASIC as the day for the local government elections in the state brought serious peace advocacy from critical stakeholders who are engaging residents on the need to shun violence. 11 political parties participating in the exercise in the state recently signed a peace accord to promote and sustain peace during and after the election. The Plateau State Peace Building Agency, the leadership of Operation Safe Haven, the police, and the Plateau Youth Council have been at the forefront engaging residents on why peace in the state should be prioritized. Some critical stakeholders are optimistic and confident that the exercise will be peaceful following their advocacy.
I can assure you that the election is going to be very peaceful. I can assure you that Plateau State, when it comes to security, should be ready for nothing less than the best when it comes to security. And we believe that they are also going to support us and support all security agencies that are assisting the police to ensure that this is done.
The elections will be conducted free of any violence. As the leader of the youth on the plateau, I want to give this assurance that our youths have been fully briefed and we will comply to every procedure as outlined by the Empire. So it's going to be a peaceful election, and I want to assure again that the participation this time around will be more than what you have seen in the past. You know, of course, for local government elections there has been a record of voter apathy, but with the sensitization and the pally, as you can see today, you can be rest assured that people will troop out in their numbers to vote for candidates of their choice.
It's a call for every one of us, including young people, the aged, observers, people that are just residents in Plateau State that may not be voting, to ensure that we only have one state, and it is Plateau State, and we must protect the peace of Plateau State.
The police authorities here in Plateau State say they are ready and set for the exercise tomorrow. They are calling on residents in the state to conduct themselves within the guidelines provided by the electoral body. Funam Joshua, TVC News, Jos.
Away from that, Governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, has condemned the attack on operatives of the Community Protection Guards by armed bandits.